UK's first super university, to be created as two merge from 2026. The UK's first super university, stretching across an entire region, is to be created through the merger of the universities of Kent and Greenwich, the BBC has learned. Under the proposed name of London and South East University Group, the single institution will have one vice-chancellor from the academic year starting in autumn 2026. The Office for Students, OFS, England's higher education regulator, welcomed the move and suggested more universities may explore similar options as they battle economic challenges, with 40% of English universities now believed to be in financial deficit. The Department for Education, DfE, said ministers welcome innovative approaches such as this one. The new university will operate across the existing campuses, including in Medway, where students from both Greenwich and Kent already share facilities, including the library. Kent has one other campus, in Canterbury, about 30 miles, 48 kilometers, from Medway. Greenwich has two other campuses, one on the banks of the River Thames in Greenwich itself about 28 miles, 45 kilometers, from Medway, and the other in Avery Hill, southeast London, about 24 miles, 38 kilometers, from Medway. The universities said the combined institution will provide a strong financial foundation to weather the economic challenges facing universities now and in the future. Speaking exclusively to the BBC, the vice-chancellors of both universities insisted the move was not a takeover, nor driven by a financial crisis for either, although they argued the new university model would be resilient and financially viable. Professor Georgina Ransley de Mora will remain the interim leader of Kent until the merger, when Professor Jane Harrington, who runs Greenwich, will become the vice-chancellor of the new institution. Professor Ransley de Mora said that the trailblazing model would enable the universities within the new group to retain their name, identity, and campuses. Professor Harrington said the universities had worked together on the Medway campus for 20 years and now wanted to go further to contribute to the economy across London and the South East. This is about taking the best of both universities and saying what do we want to offer to our communities, she said. For students, there will be no visible change, with applications continuing as normal to each institution and degrees awarded in the name of Kent or Greenwich. Professor Harrington said she could tell students absolutely categorically they could complete any course they are already enrolled on, including those starting university this autumn. The universities said there are no immediate plans for job losses, but both have had to make recent cuts. In May, Greenwich confirmed it was cutting the equivalent of 15 full-time posts by August. Kent has already started winding down some courses to reduce costs as it posted a deficit for another year in 2024. The planned merger is likely to provoke anxiety about long-term prospects among staff. Professor Harrington said she recognized there would be concern about posts, and said they would be saving costs by reducing senior roles. Across England, job losses at many institutions over the last couple of years have been adding up, with the University and College Union, UCU, estimating the overall number of posts cut is about 5,000. Mergers, once rare, have become more common, with City St George's created from two separate parts of the University of London last year. Most others have involved smaller or specialist institutions. The plans unveiled on Wednesday are on a bigger scale, with two universities offering a full range of courses and spread over a wider geographical area. The merger will be watched with interest by other universities looking at ways to collaborate to stabilize their finances. Tuition fees have increased to £9,535 this academic year, but the real value to universities has fallen because of rising costs since the big uplift 13 years ago increased fees from just over £3,000 to £9,000 a year. In the last academic year, the number of applications from international students, who pay higher fees, was 16% lower than universities had hoped. It followed visa restrictions introduced in 2024 which prevented international students bringing family members. Vivian Stern, from Universities UK, said the merger was significant, and a sign of how universities were thinking differently. She said that slow erosion of university finances needed to be stopped and the government was needed on the pitch pretty fast, with longer-term solutions. Those government plans for the future funding of universities in England are expected later this autumn. Ministers have already said they are looking at applying a 6% tax on income from international students. A DFE spokesperson said, "This collaboration shows how strong partnerships in higher education can help enable delivery of world-class teaching and research whilst maintaining the best interests of students." Any change on this scale has to be overseen by the OFS, which regulates universities in England, and makes sure student studies are not disrupted. In any merger, effective communication with students will be crucial, a spokesperson said. Current students will continue to study for the courses they signed up for, and should continue to expect excellent teaching and support.